Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Here's What I Think with your host, Charles Sabansi, where we discuss everything from current events, economics, politics, and how it all relates to business and life. Now, this is a topic that I'm very, very, very interested in. As you guys know, Sean Diddy Combs is currently sitting in jail. He's currently sitting in jail after being denied bail 2 times by 2 separate judges after he offered them $50 million and some other provisions. Nevertheless, they still decided that he will still be a risk to society. The last update that we gave on the case was the defense, his lawyers, are now asking for the identities of the people that have accused him so they can better prepare themselves for the trial that's slated to take place in May next year. Obviously, it's a tentative date. Things may change, but that's what the defense wants. They want to know who are these people accusing us so we can better defend ourselves when the trial commences. So that's the update there. We don't know what they've said yet. We don't know what the judges has decided on, but that's where we stand right now. And Sean Diddy Combs is still sitting in jail. But in the midst of all of this, a lot of people in the public have been clamoring to hear what people who were connected to Puffy in the past think about him being in jail right now and his fall from grace. And it just so happened yesterday, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw an interview of Loon, former Bad Boy artist, recording artist, and he was speaking to a gentleman. I think the name of the podcast is American in Dubai. And the gentleman asked him to weigh in on what occurred or what's happening with Puffy right now. So here's a quick backstory. Loon used to be a former Bad Boy recording artist. He was with Puffy for a lot of years, especially in the early 2000s. He wrote some of his biggest songs at that time, like I Need a Girl Part 1, I Need a Girl Part 2. Those are very, very big records. He's been on records of other artists like Tony Braxton. He's had producers like Pharrell Williams and so many others. He's had songs with Snoop Dogg and all of that. So he was there during that transitional period from Bad Boy after Mace had left and all of that. And he was with Puffy for quite some time. And even after he came out of jail, he said that, him and Puffy reunited. There was some video, there's some pictures of them when he went to go visit him in LA. And he's always been loyal to Puffy. And I think the reason is because he never had any bad relationships, business dealings with him. Some of his other former artists did, but Loon never seemed to have that issue with Puffy. And even as he spoke about him, even before his home got raided in LA, he always had positive things to say about him. So I was very, very curious to hear what Loon would say, given now Puffy's sitting in jail. And I think some of you would be a bit surprised to hear the direction that he chose to take when discussing Diddy. So for those of you who didn't hear what he had to say, I want to play some of his comments for you now, and then want to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Loon here.
I think, to be honest with you, since I've been home, I've had the pleasure.
And how long have you been home?
4 years.
4 years.
Yep, 4 years, July, August, September. 4 years and 2 months, almost 2 months. But since I've been home, I've been definitely blessed with the opportunity to, link up with a lot of people, who I once shared a commonality with. High-profile people.
Like who?
Influential people. It's been all over the internet. People see me with everybody. Yeah. But I think the one thing that a lot of people probably curious about is obviously my former business partner, which is Sean Combs. And I pray that Allah guide him.
Yeah. I pray that Allah guide him as well,
and rectify his affairs, because the thing is, for me, and just the way I was raised, the way I was brought up, I've never been a fan of kicking somebody while they're down. You know? Either,
and no, don't think that I'm asking the question to kick anyone while they're down.
I don't think you
definitely.
I don't think you are. I think it's just is a common question because of the affiliation or form affiliation. It just makes sense.
So you heard what he had to say. Now, look, I'm sure the position that Loon took right there probably disappointed a lot of people, because a lot of people love to pile on, right? It's like pile on, pile on, pile on. He's down, kick him, kick him, kick him, kick him, kick him. Just keep adding stuff, adding stuff, adding stuff. And I think that the people that do that, especially people that show up on various platforms, need to be careful, because some of them may find themselves in trouble. Like if you listen to some of the things that are now being said by former bodyguard of Puffy, Gene Deal, now some people are saying that, look, some of the stuff he's saying may have been untrue. And he may have found a way to get himself involved in this entire fiasco, because now people are beginning to look at him sideways, because Choke No Joke, who actually made an appearance on Piers Morgan, has actually been exposing some things about Gene that has some people looking at him like, it looks like you may have been lying at certain points throughout this entire ordeal. So you have that aspect of it. But in terms of what Loon said, I'm not surprised by what he said. Amir Loon, rather. I'm not surprised at what he said, because I think what Loon has said has pretty much been consistent with what he's been saying about Puffy ever since he got out of prison. He's been out of prison for 4 years, and I've never heard him say a negative word about him. And to me, it shows his consistency as a person to remain the same. He's not using it as an opportunity to say, oh, Puffy did this to me and did that to me. He's like, look, and he said, I always pray for him and hope God guides him in all of his affairs, to use some of his words to quickly paraphrase. But to me, I was surprised to see that he took a high road in this situation, because so many people seem to be taking the low road and kicking him while he's down. So look, these are my takes on it. So the question I have for the audience is, number one, what do you think about what Loon had to say? Number two, are you surprised that he chose to remain positive? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section. We catch you guys on the next show.